If you're wondering to build a website, then you will need domain name, website builder software and web hosting. Domain name is the important part of your website. Choosing a domain name is so easy if you have an idea what type of website you are going to build, what type of service you are going to provide. Domain name system, or DNS, is the friendly naming system for giving addresses to web servers and web pages. Domain names hide the really technical IP address which most viewers aren't interested in. The true technical address of a web host is its Internet Protocol address or IP address. A domain name is not the same as URL. To be technically correct, a domain name is commonly part of a larger Internet address called a URL. A URL goes into much more detail than a domain name, providing much more information, including the specific page address, folder name, machine name, and protocol language. Now, what is web hosting? There are a lot of websites are available which provide hosting service. It is a service provided in which you can store your website content and provide it to your customer on request. Hosting service provider categorized hosting into shared hosting, VPS hosting, cloud hosting, dedicated server hosting, reseller hosting. Shared hosting. Shared hosting refers to a setup where multiple sites are all hosted together on the same server. If one site becomes really busy, it may affect all other sites on that server. Shared hosting is just like living in big building and sharing building resources with others. Think this is an apartment complex. It's one big building where hundreds of residents live. They have all the resources they need, but they pay less since they sharing them with multiple residents. This type of hosting best suited for beginners, who may have limited experience with managing a server. VPS hosting. Your website will have dedicated resources with bandwidth, CPU and memory. So you are sharing only server equipment with your neighbors, you are not sharing the resources that you purchased. VPS like a townhome. You'll enjoy upgraded resources and you'll be sharing them with much fewer people. This gives you more power, flexibility, and control, but it also costs a little more. Cloud hosting. Rather than being hosted on one single instance of a physical server, the website is hosted on a virtual partition which draws its resources, such as disk space, from an extensive network of underlying physical servers. You get the freedom to choose any operating system you want. You can install or replace any operating system from a range of OS available. In a cloud, a client is completely isolated from the files of other client. It is more secure than VPS hosting. In a VPS server, if a machine or part of the machine fails, your VPS will go down, causing downtime till the problem is fixed. But in case of cloud server, in case of any failure, the system is rerouted to another available physical resource, causing minimum downtime. Dedicated server hosting. If you are living in an apartment building, you share that building with others, compared to living in your own mansion. Dedicated server hosting is just like that. You don't share your server resources with anyone else. You can choose the exact hardware and software specifications of the server to meet your needs. You have full root access to your dedicated servers and can configure and tweak your setup to meet your needs. Dedicated server hosting expensive comparing with shared and VPS hosting. Reseller hosting. Reseller hosting is a form of web hosting wherein the account owner has the ability to use his or her allotted hard drive space and bandwidth to host websites on behalf of third parties. The reseller purchases the host services in wholesale and then sells them to customers, possibly for a profit.